With this year's earthquake in Haiti, followed by the outbreak of cholera, any talk about recovery has mostly been about emergency relief. But full recovery, which could take years, also means correcting some persistent underlying problems and even some assumptions. That's why some people in the Boston area have been working on a recovery project that might be described as building a new society from the ground up. The location would be in a village 20 miles from the Haitian capital, and students working on the project have recently come up with an architectural exhibit. To bring us up to date on the Haiti Renaissance Project are MIT architecture professor Jan Wampler and a research fellow from MIT, Gertie Lahens. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
I was talking with Jan Wampler. This isn't long-term in a way because you're talking about trying to build housing for 1,000 people in 100 days. Can you do that?
Yes, we can do that if we have the funding in place and everybody is working. It may be 2 shifts working a day, 2 8-hour shifts, but we can build 100 houses in 100 days.
Gertie Lahens, what about getting support for this once you have the plans more or less solidified? How do you go after the money for this?
We've been putting proposal, and we've been filling applications and then calling people and just going to the media and talking to everybody that we can find to create awareness, and then letting them know that the most important thing, the worst ever is going on there in Haiti right now, and we need to house those people, and we have the best team. We are lucky to have the best team. We have Professor Wampler who has done that, and then the students really are putting timeless time, effort, I should say, to make this happen. So we have to create a way to implement it in Haiti.
Jan Wampler, you're talking about a self-sustainable community. Explain how that's supposed to work.
Yes, that's correct. All communities of the future have to be self-sustainable. They can't rely on outside grid. In our case, we are talking about solar and wind for electric power. We actually may be using water power from a small dam that we may build. But we're also talking about growing our own food on the area that people can use for their own food, but also perhaps sell and have some income. So we're also talking about a sewage system that is not the typical sewage system, but one that can produce fertilizer for the farm. So it would be self-contained. It has to be self-contained.
You're also talking about using different materials because in the capital you'd have reinforced concrete, and here you're talking about things like bamboo.
That's correct. Bamboo is a wonderful material. It grows very quickly. You can use it for construction. You can eat it. You can use it for clothing. You can use it for fuel to produce energy. And we have been working for the last semester, my students and I, on designs using bamboo for building the housing, classrooms, dormitories, all out of different kinds of bamboo, different shapes and sizes of bamboo. And of course it's inexpensive. And in addition to that, we're talking about rammed earth, which is like a low-grade concrete, but not above you like reinforced concrete in Port-au-Prince, but low walls made out of rammed earth. Of course, we're trying to build the best housing we can for the least amount of money. And these materials lend themselves to that.
Gertie, let's talk about the desire of people to live in this community. I imagine anybody who is stuck right now in some kind of refugee shelter might look at this as an improvement, but for the long term, do people, let's say people who've been in Port-au-Prince for a while, would they want to go to something like this?
Yes, they do. And we have worked with other civic associations there and churches, and we have thousands of people already on our list. So that's why we want to go to a lottery first, because it's not going to be, as Professor has said it so beautifully, it's not going to be one, this is a pilot project that we want to start in Arcaye and duplicate it in 9 other departments. So yes, we have people who are tired of staying in Port-au-Prince. There is nothing for them in Port-au-Prince. And some people are living under tents and tarps that are really are not made to stay for that long. So it's been rains and everything. They've been through a lot, even hurricanes. So yes, they cannot wait, and have received hundreds of calls from people from Haiti who have asked us to remain focused. please to not forget and to continue the fight for them to come and build this village, because this is their only hope.
General, I imagine one of the things you're thinking of in this project is at least showing an alternative to some of the development that has taken a toll on Haiti, even ecologically. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, we hope to have a farm of bamboo and replenish the soil, which has been badly used, as you know. In fact, we think we can have 300 acres of a bamboo farm, which would then provide bamboo for, we hope to have a clothing industry that would operate nearby, which provides jobs. The whole issue is not only housing, but it's jobs and it's education. And my opinion is that the people of the world that have the least should have the most in terms of housing and in terms of jobs. The notion that we're doing of microeconomies in small villages outside the city, I think is a hope for the future, for all places, not only Haiti.
One thing I think I've heard about Haiti before, it's not that it's importing things that it can't produce, it's also importing things that maybe it should be able to produce.
Yes, that's why Professor Wempler, by working on bamboo and then bringing others to understand that they can invest. We just have to create stability in Haiti. That's all we need. And yes, if we work on reforestation, we should be able to produce our own food. We should be able to sell. What we want to do for the village is to have our own farm so we can provide food for the people living in the settlement, but also having enough to sell in the surrounding area. So creating job and getting people engaged, that's the main focus of our program. And also not only housing, but also giving people the chance to better themselves to education and open also their mind to better things, open their mind to the world, to challenge them, to just to compete with the world around them. That's what we want to do.
General, just bring us up to date now. The latest stage in this, just recently you had an exhibit of some architectural work in it. Tell me a little bit about how that went.
We had an opening just last Friday night at MIT in Building 9 in the lobby. Tremendous turnout, over 100 people, much more than 100 people were there. And that was the work of last semester, where we have done more details of the housing, the classrooms, in the case of the school. We are what we would call shovel ready with the project. We've got more details now than we had before. So we could start tomorrow.
Shovels in search of stimulus. Thank you very much for being with us. Jan Wampler and Gertie Lehens from MIT.
Thank you again for having us.